mic on. Hello? How's it going? I'm stressed about money. I got everything paid off, but like I have like no money left to do anything else. I'm really stressed about money, so I'm gonna have to keep streaming and asking for help. It's been expensive. I've had to help my neighbor out a lot too. Things have been rough for them, so I've been helping them with groceries and stuff. Basically gonna have like no money for my trip unless I get help, so I'm very stressed out about that. The channel's making even less than usual, so it's not helping things. It's frustrating working so hard and just making nothing and having to rely on people so much. I hate it. I want to make more. The things I do don't make money. They're on a fixed income over there. They have like barely any money to pay me. So it's been a financial struggle. I'll still be able to go on the trip, but I desperately need help. What's up? I'll be living on nothing this month. How you doing, Mawagre? Yeah, I'm just gonna cheat my Wolong save file back. I couldn't even find the location of the saves. I couldn't even find the location. I got the cheat engine table. I'll probably maybe towards the end of the stream, I'll cheat my file back. Game isn't all that anyway. It's not worth the effort. Yeah, I don't feel like playing through the whole game legitimately when I got a decent chunk into it on Game Pass. Yeah, those movesets look pretty cool. I reinstalled Kingdom Hearts 2 actually. Not well, 2 and 3. I got a bunch of mods for 3. Might check that out later tonight as well. I'm just gonna game for a bit. Chilling, watching streams, running errands today. I played the Tenkaichi games, yeah. I really don't understand why they're making another one. People are just going to expect Fighters or Xenoverse. I don't really get the point. Unless they somehow make it, like, actually mechanically deep. And even then, I don't understand the point, because there's already Dragon Ball Fighters for that. If you want Dragon Ball license with at least somewhat competent gameplay, you already have fighters for that. I don't really get what the point is. Xenoverse still gets DLC to this day. It's been out for like 6 years. I don't understand what the market is for that. I'm sure it'll sell just because it's got Dragon Ball in the title, but I don't really get the appeal of making a game like that. The modern era, there's already pretty much replacements for it. Xenoverse is pretty much a replacement. They have like the 3D arena style fighting, but you have like MMO mechanics like grinding and creating your own character and stuff. And then if you don't want any of that, you just want like an actual competent fighting game, then you have fighters. So they're a weird choice to me. I don't get who that game is for. They said there's going to be another balance patch, which I find hilarious. I saw that coming. As soon as they got into Evo, it's like they have to patch this game again. No one's going to want to watch Lab Coat and the fused Goku and Vegeta characters like for 4 hours. It was painfully obvious they were going to do that. That probably lit up their ass real fast, having that happen. And chances are they're probably going to announce a Fighters 2 at EVO Grand Finals. That seems to be what they're leading up to. It's taken them forever to do the rollback as well, so... Yeah, but you can already get that experience in 2 games that already exist. And they both still get updates, like... I don't know, man. I guess it doesn't matter, it's Dragon Ball. They can put, like, sell anything as long as it's got Dragon Ball in the title. I don't really see what the necessity is to make another one, though. The Xenoverse is pretty much just the successor of it. Still got all the characters, the combat is at least decent. It falls apart when you play competitively, but nobody who's sane plays that game for competitive gameplay anyway. The netcode is balls, and it's obviously not balanced with that in mind. It's a great single-player game, like to play with your friends and stuff, but the competitive aspect is ass. I can't believe people take it seriously. That's because that's all they can play. You gotta realize typecasting is a very real thing when you make content. If you deviate from it even slightly, especially if it's like your only source of income, it's a huge risk. I mean, I guess being typecast for only Dragon Ball games is a relatively stable career, but I'm sure they get tired of them. That's why I'm very lucky. I don't have to just be playing Musou games all the time. I can play stuff like this and people will still watch. But I definitely diversified early on, because when I started doing this, like, nobody knew what they was doing. Nobody knew what they were doing. It was all just kind of learn as you go. I'm sure the mods help, but it's still playing the same game for years. That shit can really wear you down mentally. But they do put out a Dragon Ball game like every year, so I guess that helps. I don't know, I'm not an expert on that kind of thing. I know about being typecast as a content creator, how much it sucks, but I managed to diversify away from Musou. It's not like I don't still play Musou. It's just that whole genre has been in a real trash state. Very inconsistent quality. Like, infrequent releases. Like, yeah, I still want to make content, it's just I don't want to do, like, the main thing that makes me money, which is Musou games, because it's, like, not interesting right now. Playing stuff like this is more interesting. Yeah. I have Xenoverse 2 on the Steam Deck. I gotta figure out how to mod it. But there's like so many mods for that game, I don't even know where to start. I installed like a good 10 mods on Kingdom Hearts 3 earlier this week. And like that only took like 20-30 minutes to just pick out the good stuff, but Xenoverse was like a bajillion mods. I don't even have the slightest clue where to start. I like how his name is just Orange Piccolo. I can't call him like Ascended Piccolo or, I don't know, Omnipotent Piccolo. Like, no, she's just Orange Piccolo. I can't even give the dude a name. Minimal effort. Like, no, he's just Orange Piccolo. Poor guy, man. Piccolo's an honorary, like, black dude in Dragon Ball. He always has been. They finally give him a form after all the Goku form spam, but then he's just Orange Piccolo. Are they that out of ideas they can't even give it a name? Piccolo is just a black single father in a alien's body, pretty much. That's how he's always been. Like the surrogate father of Gohan. He's a brother in everything but his appearance. They don't give that guy... They don't give him justice. I guess they're like running out of forms for Goku and Vegeta. Those movies are kind of pointless, but they do, like, at least give the characters that got power crept, like, something to do. The last one I watched was the Frieza one that came out, like, several years ago. They had that one here in the theater in town. I watched it with my friend. But it's cool to see Krillin actually do something again after doing nothing for, like, decades. I'm like well over my Dragon Ball phase. I got out of Dragon Ball pretty much after middle school. It's cool to see Krillin like actually do something. I think that's the cool part of those movies, even if like nothing really. It's been the same formula. You know, some new power crep boss appears and somebody powers up and beats them. It's like they finally realized they have like lots of really endearing, cool characters in Dragon Ball, but for like the shonen part of it, which is the fighting, they're all like pretty much useless. They've all been power crept to just Goku and Vegeta. I like that aspect of those movies. It's like, hey, we have like dozens of characters and they haven't been able to do much. They can provide like emotional support, comic relief, but for the whole like martial arts shonen anime of it, they're pointless. They've been power crept. Interesting how Dragon Ball is pretty much like a mobile game in terms of the power creep. it's pretty much it's just like KOF All-Star. Like they had like a lot of cool characters at the start, but the power creep just got so bad that, you know, only the meta characters are relevant, which in Dragon Ball's case is like Goku, Vegeta, and like maybe to like a far lesser extent like Trunks. It pretty much just is like a power creep franchise. Well before mobile games were a thing. I'd argue, Tales of Xillia 2 is a power creep, non-gacha game, because they put Ludger in the game, and they, like, went to great lengths to make him better than everybody else. They're all still fun to play because the battle system is so good, but, like, they really shoehorn you into playing, only him. And, like, the previous protagonist in that game got like neutered like crazy in that game. Jude is like way worse. Yeah, I guess the mods give them some decent content, but I'm sure they're like really clamoring. The Dragon Ball creators are probably like really excited for a new game. That's the thing about being typecast for like a service game is that interest in it wanes. Like even if they still enjoy playing that game, there's probably like way less people looking at it than back when the game was new. I've experienced that. Like my Neo 2 videos did really well just on the basis that I was still playing the game when the DLC came out. it took even longer for that game to get DLC than all their other action RPGs because they got obviously Japan got hit really hard by COVID, like right when the game came out. So they were really at a disadvantage, but it worked for me. My videos did really well just because I was the only one that was not the only one, but I was putting up content pretty regularly throughout the game's lifespan. I don't really feel like playing this anymore, since they're gonna wipe. It's kind of pointless to keep grinding. It's just aimless. Let's play something else. Let's see. What else we got here? They're offering like no benefits for even playing this beta. It's pretty much just like try out the game and help us squash bugs before it comes out. Because they actually, unlike AAA games, they actually seem to care about the game working at launch, which is commendable, but at the same time, it's kind of a waste to like keep playing it. Like, you're not gonna get to keep anything. You're gonna start from level 1 yet again. The difference is that they're giving you the double rebate for when you when the full version comes out. So it's like you're gonna have to do the grind again, but you'll also have like a decent amount of cash currency. If you spent like even like $20 on the last public beta, you're gonna have like 50 to work with, which in that game seems to go pretty far from what I remember. The microtransactions are pretty light. Oh, you guys have a black screen. Hold on. Glad I caught it. There we go. No, I didn't get to that yet. Maybe I'll try that tonight. How you doing, man? Aside being stressed about money because of trip expenses, I'm doing okay. And I know my community will help if I keep asking for it, so just trying to chill. The trip is paid for at least. I just have like barely any funds for the rest of the month, so I've had to help my neighbor a lot of things. They've been having a really difficult time over there for reasons I won't get into, but they've had to rely on me a lot. It's kind of hurting me financially. No, I'm not asking for your help. I'm just saying in general. You're not entitled to help me. He asked how I was doing, so I said it. Expect anything from you but your company. It's all good, man. You don't donate to people if you're struggling yourself. Yes, I need it, but I don't want people to be struggling because of me. I've got my birthday coming up too, so I'll have a little money for my family. I'm only going to be up there for a weekend. It's not like it's this huge trip. I'm just going to try to see like 3 people. But I don't see it my normal vacation because they have scheduling conflicts. As long as I can afford to eat and get back. That's all I'm looking for. It's mostly just because of my PC bill. That's been $150 to $200 a month, and I'm on a very low income, so that's been the real problem. Not really anything related to the channel or my output with videos or anything. It's not really a factor. It's just an expense that I willingly took on that I can barely afford. That's all it is. I needed to do the upgrade, though. I needed to do it. It's gonna make this year decent chunk of this year tight, but it needed to be done. Especially the processor is like the main thing I upgraded, and CPU advancements have like pretty much hit a standstill. I won't need to upgrade the processor for like a good, probably several years. Graphics cards are advancing pretty decently, but processors are kind of hit a standstill, so causing me some short-term stress, but it's a long-term investment. Yeah, and I can afford to do it myself. It's just everything else that's not the channel has been really hard. I've had to ask friends for help and stuff, so I'm sure people will help. Just have to start streaming more and letting people know I'm in need of help, and I think things will work out. Train tickets are in like the complete toilet. It was like $20 less to pay for the ticket to get up to San Jose than like last year. Normally it's like about $100 round trip. It was only 78, so it's gone down a lot. I guess people just aren't taking the train anymore. California is a huge state, so that's probably part of it too. People actually fly like to different parts of California, which for a lot of other states in the U.S. is like not something people even think of. You can just drive. A lot of people legit do go from like LA to like San Jose. They just fly. So there's like less people, I guess, that want to take the train right now or something. Which is good for me, because I've been paying for all this out of my pocket. I haven't had any help this month financially. If I keep paying $150 to $200 a month, by the middle of this year it should be mostly paid off. If I start getting donations and stuff, especially because gaming hasn't been too interesting, like new games and stuff, there hasn't been much I wanted to play, and I can probably pay it off faster, and then I won't need to ask for help so much. Definitely am able to do it without donations, which is what I've been doing. Could probably even ask them for a month off. They might be willing to do that. So obviously May is when I go on my usual vacation. Those of you that have been sub for a while, I go to a NerdCon for the sole purpose of seeing my friends. I don't really care for the whole anime aspect of it. So I might try to do that next month. Maybe I'll just tell them like I'll pay extra next month, and then maybe May they can give me a little break, because doing both is gonna be really tight. I think I really need it, though. I've been working really hard. Could definitely use a little escape. 2 escapes this year is gonna be good. My neighbors rely on me a lot. They need me there, like, constantly, so... And they're nice people, but just the way that their family functions, kinda like... They need reliable people like me, but I haven't had time or money to like really do things for myself. That's a pretty common thing when you're a caregiver. I'm not an official caregiver, I don't have like a license or anything, but that's basically what I am, because it's not just taking care of the cats, it's other things that they need. Today they didn't have any water, so I gave them some of my water that I had. They need errands done and stuff. Yeah, I think I owe like, it's under $1,000 now. I owe under $1,000 on it, so I've made a pretty big dent in it. I just can't pay like large amounts, but they don't really care. They basically like straight up told me that like most people that come into their store, they upgrade the computer once or they fix it once and then you never see them again, but I've been working with them for years, so they trust that I will pay it, and I have been making the payments. It's just been really hard to afford other stuff. Like, I barely have cash for groceries right now, let alone other shit I need. But all the bills are paid at least. I took care of all that. My neighbor's supposed to help me, but for reasons I don't want to get into because it's their private business. It's been hard for them to pay me. This is stuff every caregiver goes through. You get exhausted. You get exhausted and you don't make like what you're worth. It's very common. Got like a good 50-60 FPS boost in like a huge chunk of the games I play, so there was definitely something wrong with the computer. I kind of regretted it for a while, but when I loaded up like PSO2 New Genesis and it was running perfect at max settings, even though I haven't upgraded the graphics card since last year, it was worth it. Yeah, I'm sure people will help. I'm sure people will help. I just have to stream and get the word out more. But I get exhausted. Caregiving can be very difficult sometimes. I don't really want to do much with the channel. But I'm sure getting 2 breaks this year will help. I don't think so, no. You said this is a new update you put out. You gotta realize this guy's working for free. He can't sell this. I honestly think Sega should, like, pick this up. Like, pay him for this. Give him some cash and just, like, make it like a new Streets of Rage entry. I could see modern Sega doing that. It's ironically, when the remake came out, like, 12 years ago, they cease and desisted it, like, instantly. And it pissed off a lot of people because they weren't doing anything with Streets of Rage at the time. Pretty much just porting the games over and over. There was the short-lived mobile game, and then like Axel appeared in a couple games, like Project X Zone. He was in that. But they weren't doing anything with it. It's like, well, how is this hurting you? They're not. I don't think they were even taking donations either. It's like complete dick move. Can understand when companies like AM2R. The common theory with why that game was taken down was because there was the DS Metroid 2 remake. And a lot of people say that AM2R is better, but that's beyond the point. They saw AM2R as a direct competitor to something that they're actually selling, like a commercial product. So that's why they did that. But the Streets of Rage remake getting cease and desisted was really weird because there wasn't anything going on with the franchise at all. Absolutely nothing. Biggest thing that happened with Streets of Rage before Streets 4 was Axel and Blaze were in Project X Zone 2. They got like a nice remix and everything, but there was nothing else going on. That was around the same time too. It was only a couple years later. Sega's done some pretty dickish things though. They did that with the Sonic ROMs that they sell on Steam. They got rid of those when Sonic Origins came out. The ROMs are legit better because like Sonic 3 Air and stuff, the Angel Island Revisited or whatever it's called, it uses the actual Sonic 3 ROM to, I guess, to get the source code or something. So the easiest way to get it was to just buy it on Steam. But when Sonic Origins came out, they removed them from the Steam package. You can't buy them anymore. Like, the ROMs are objectively better because you get ROM hacks and you get the enhancement mods and stuff. And that was, you know, it was only like $3 to buy the game. It was legit easier than trying to go find it on a site. But now you do have to go find it on a site, which is really backwards. Nobody even likes Sonic Origins, pretty much. I heard it's not very good remaster. Of course they are, yes, but I think one of the biggest reasons why they cared about that one in particular is because they were basically selling the same thing. Like Streets of Rage 2 New Era, which is it's like a remastered port of Streets of Rage 2 with like HD graphics and the lag is removed. There's like rollback netcode and stuff. The way that works is you have to have the ROM. It's basically like reverse engineering the ROM. So what you do is you just go buy it off Steam, which is what I did. You just buy the ROM off Steam. And like you always have it, you don't have to go track it down when you get a new computer or phone, which is nice. That's how it used to work with the Sonic ROMs, but they took them off when Origins released. A lot of people are really pissed about that. I don't really see how it's affecting the sales of Origins. Origins being a crap remaster affected the sales. Streets of Rage 2 is yes. If you want to play Streets of Rage 2 New Era, the easiest way is to just go buy the Streets of Rage 2 ROM from Steam. The ROMs that are in the collection on Steam, they're actual ROMs. You can just put them in an emulator. So it's like an actual legal, like permanent, like version of those games that you have. Pretty much are just buying ROMs. I mean, you always are when you get re-releases of old-ass games like that, but like, you just go in the folder and you can just put them on an emulator. They work. It just runs through the front end. And like an old version of an emulator. So it's like better to just get the ROM legally from there and then you can do whatever you want with it. Does it really? Yeah, they should not have had to do that though. That's a crazy amount of work for something that was already a solved problem. I don't think many people are like really pirating Sonic ROMs anymore. get the legal one easily. That's because of the whole Michael Jackson Sonic 3 thing. I guess apparently there's some truth to. I always thought that was like an unfounded rumor, but the fact that they took out the songs that he supposedly worked on before he passed, I guess it is true. Yeah, that's another downside for sure. It's always a risk when they bring something back, is they might, like, censor the game or take out stuff because of rights issues. Or the reverse can happen. Like, one good thing about the Symphonia remaster is that it does have, I think it actually has the Japanese intro. Whereas when they put that game out on the GameCube, they thought, like, we're not gonna pay for this weeb song. We're not gonna pay for this weeb song, we're just gonna put the lame instrumental there. Yeah, he passed in like 2008, so that would have been at least maybe 4 or 5 years before he passed. Maybe it's like some problem with his estate or something. And Michael Jackson in general has been treated like garbage since he passed. All these like accusations and stuff. And he's like not even alive anymore to defend himself. Whether those accusations are true is a whole other can of worms, but I think he's been treated the worst since he passed out of like most other celebrities of our time for sure. Maybe they just want to distance themselves from that. I don't know. It's like something that people legit grew up with, so it sucks that it's gone. One of those things where it's like you don't know what he did, if any of those accusations are true, but like all that really matters is the dude's not alive anymore. Like, why are you dragging his name through the mud? Like, he's not alive anymore. He's gone. He's been gone for like 15 years. That's pretty much how it is when you're famous. That's a downside to being famous. What happens when you pass? Like, the people that are in charge can just decide to pretty much ruin your image just to make money. No one really talks about that, but that's it's one of the worst things, especially if you have, like, children like he did. They've been doing that with SpongeBob after the creator died. They've been doing stuff he, like, never wanted to do. You know, they post on their Twitter about how they're sad that he's gone, but then they start doing things with SpongeBob that he didn't want to do while he was alive. And, like, the moment he passed, they started announcing stuff like that. I don't remember what it was. I'm not into SpongeBob, but something about, like, a live-action movie or something like that. And, like, he never wanted to do that when he was alive, but the moment that he died, they greenlit that shit, like, instantly. Like, the moment he was gone, they started doing stuff that he never wanted to do. He's not around to make decisions anymore. They still want to make money off SpongeBob. Even if it goes against the vision of the person who fucking made it. How many billions of dollars did that guy make Viacom? Billions, at least. SpongeBob is huge. Yeah, the deepfake Luke Skywalker stuff is meme-worthy, because it's like Mark Hamill's still alive. He hasn't passed. He seems to be pretty healthy. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. They're already deepfaking him. The dude's still alive and kicking. Like, he was just in a new Star Wars movie like 5 years ago. Recently. They keep doing the deepfake where they get like some young guy and they AI put Mark Hamill's young face on him. It's like, why don't you just recast him? He's like, he's just a decently attractive white guy. Like, is it really that big of a deal? I mean, there's been like a dozen people that have played James Bond. There's been like so many people that have played James Bond and Batman. It's like not a big deal that they get older and they can't do the role anymore. But for some reason, Disney is just like, we can't just get another 19-year-old white guy to be like young Luke Skywalker. We need to do like necromancy and shit, bring back like Mark Hamill in his prime. It's like, why? People seem to accept it, like, you know, Val Kilmer's not going to be Batman anymore, is he? He's not capable of being Batman anymore. You get somebody else younger to do it. Like, it's not this, like, alien, bizarre concept. They just recast them. Yes, they might not be as good as the original, but it's better than the deepfake stuff, which just looks awful. It's creepy. Are they doing that for the new Indiana Jones as well? That's hilarious, because they already had a young Indiana Jones. They already had a young Indiana Jones. It was an entire series when I was a kid. I used to watch that. They already had a young Indiana Jones when he was like 19 or something. They already did that, and obviously they didn't like de-age Harrison Ford like 20 years. They just got some other white guy to play him. Like, I don't get what's so difficult. They did that with Han Solo too. They did that Han Solo movie, and they just got some other white guy. It's like, hey, this is Han Solo when he's young, because Harrison Ford is like 80. He can't pull off a young character anymore. Like, they already did that. Star Wars is really weird. The fact that they're doing that. They've already recasted some of those characters before, but for some reason it's this they'd rather deepfake and just continue to do that, which is the more ethical thing to do. Give another actor a chance. Instead of, like, try to get Mark Hamill in his prime and put it through a computer and get some stunt, like, guy in his, like, 20s or something to play him. Play the body, and then put the head as Mark Hamill. The whole AI thing is just... it's not really much different from how business has always worked, where they put their profits first and their morality can just be damned. They don't care about the morals of what they're doing as long as they're making money. How the Japanese are, like, more respectful about that kind of thing than we are. A recent example of that happening would be Lila from Tales of Zestiria. Her voice actor passed away, like, very young, and instead of doing any deepfake stuff, they just replaced the voice actor. They just got somebody else to do it. It still sucks, of course. The character's never going to be the same when she appears in supplemental material like Tales of the Rays and stuff, but, you know, they just, like, hey, we're just gonna get somebody else to do this. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it was a pretty big shock when that actor passed away. I don't know her name, but it was very shortly after that game came out. We'll see how long that lasts, though. When a lot of the really veteran voice actors start to pass, I wouldn't be surprised if they start doing that too. I think they'll be slower to adopt it, but I think that they probably will start doing that too. Especially because a lot of the old voice actors are on, like, never-ending shonen series like Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball. Like, they've been voicing those characters for like 30 years. Yeah, that weeb samurai boss is from Bare Knuckle Mobile, I think. He was like one of the new sprites in that game. I think that's where that sprite comes from. That game did have a few, like, unique sprites that were new. I think that's where that weeb boss comes from. Regarding the Indiana Jones thing, he said that nobody else will play Indiana Jones. I'm like, yeah, while you're alive, yes. You bet they'll keep making Indiana Jones movies. They'll cast somebody else. That's the biggest downside to being famous, especially now with AI and stuff, is that it doesn't matter if they won't do it while you're alive. As soon as you pass, they will do it. They'll drag your name through the mud, because a character or your name still has a lot of money involved with it. It definitely sucks more to be famous now than if you passed before any of this stuff started to happen. Oh yeah, mobile game. You think mobile gaming is bad now. Back then it was real struggle bus, struggle tier. Because most mobile games ran on Java. And Java is like something that we still use to this day, but it's complete shit for video games. The frame rate was really bad. There were no controllers for mobile back then either. Mobile games actually being something playable, and even talking about like the really shit like pay-to-win stuff is relatively new development. Like maybe the past like 12 years or so. A lot of people don't realize that. There was that Mega Man export from iPhone. That was like complete shit quality. I remember that. I remember the shitstorm when that came out. Yeah, you could pay to unlock the armor. It's a microtransaction to unlock the armor. They put microtransactions in a 30-year-old game. That's when you know you've jumped the shark. You're putting MTX in a 30-year-old game. It wasn't designed to have anything like that in it. Yeah. Are they really doing that with that game? Maybe you could make a game that fucking works at launch. What a concept, right? You gotta keep in mind, when retro games had fatal bugs, a lot of people say when they compare like the stability of old games to new games, and like, oh, the games are much more complex. I'm like, yes, they are, but there was another factor to it too, and that was if the game had a game-breaking bug, there were no patches, right? There were only patches on PC, so they had to recall the whole thing. That happened a couple times. It was very rare to happen, but they had to recall the whole thing. Like, they had to stop selling it. They could not just tell you, like what they do now, where it's like, well, maybe we'll fix it in a month if you're lucky. So you're stuck with something that doesn't work, and we got your money, but maybe we'll fix it later if we feel like it. They could not do that back then. I remember Turok 2. You can probably go look it up. I don't remember the details, but that game had some kind of major bug, and they had to like recall all the cartridges. It's interesting how things have changed. Now there's like no care at all if the game doesn't work at launch. They'll just crap it out and promise to fix it later. Yeah, but that's if the game even got a greatest hits thing. Wild Hearts has been out for a month. They still haven't fixed that game. It's still broken. I keep checking back on it. I canceled my EA subscription thing to rent that game. I'm like, okay, this game's not gonna get fixed before they charge me another $15, so fuck them. Shit, that game seemed pretty good. I feel like the comparisons to Monster Hunter were a little harsh, just because Monster Hunter games are pretty devoid of content at launch too. Like for a new IP, it seems like it has a decent amount of content, and it did have a chance of being like an actual Monster Hunter competitor, but they completely botched the launch with the performance and the stability issues, people losing their saves and stuff. They have no chance now. They're gonna have to put out like an expansion for that's paid. Have like everything fixed for people that really want to give that game a chance again, which is sad, but it's also deserved. They want $70 for that game. It better fucking work. A lot of money for an average person. Spend hard-earned money on something like that, you expect it to work. Not maybe 2 months later if you're lucky. I played it for like 8 hours or so. They put out that one patch and like the game was still like running at like 20 FPS during certain attacks. They just alt F4'd out of the game and uninstalled it. I'm like, man, fuck this. I have plenty of games to play that do work. That game doesn't deserve my time or money. I need to be blowing $70 on barely functional products. Yeah, but every time a Monster Hunter game comes out, a hunting game comes out, people always complain about no content. I'm like, well, you know, Monster Hunter's been around for like 19 years, right? Even when they put out a new game like Rise was also really light on content when it came out. It's like they still have more stuff to pull from. You can't expect the first release of a new like hunting IP to have a lot of content. Monster Hunter games still aren't immune to being light on content. That was a very common complaint with Monster Hunter Rise, is that they didn't have much content. it's double standards to me. Like, just because it's a more well-known IP, like somehow it's immune to having flaws. Like, people won't give new stuff a chance. Like, of course it's gonna have less stuff. It hasn't been 20 years of games. They can't possibly put, like, enough content in to compete with Monster Hunter. It's not possible on the first game. The problem with the Monster Hunter competitors is that they don't get anywhere near as frequent releases as Monster Hunter, so they can't catch up. I really liked God Eater 3. I liked that game more than Monster Hunter because it was more up my alley with like the fast-paced, more responsive gameplay. But I got the Platinum Trophy in like 40 hours. It's a good game, but you know, if you're expecting like 400 hours out of it like Monster Hunter World, then obviously yes, it can't compete. That game was pretty solid. Tokiden 2, same thing. I think the builds are more interesting in that than Monster Hunter, but same problem as all the other ones, just light on content, so you kinda get your fill out of it and there's just like not much more. Yeah, everything is, everyone has this weird fetish for how long a game is, but, like, there's no thought about, like, is it actually fun? Is it a fun 80 hours? Or is it a fun hour like this game is? This game is no filler. It's just a short, replayable experience. If it was legal to pay for this game, I would. I like grindy, long games too, but I like to balance it out. I play like roguelikes and arcade games and beat-em-ups and stuff. I don't need everything to be like just this big grind fest. I don't know, games were scummy back then too. They would make changes to games and make things obtuse or have like really bad difficulty spikes because they knew that kids would beat it. They didn't want kids to beat them on rentals. A lot of the Japanese games that we played were like bastardized when they brought them over here. They made them harder because they hated the rental market. No, it was a pretty common thing for people in our generation to, like, have a sleepover with their friends and, like, just rent, like, 2 games and just beat them. It's very common to do that. Especially if you lived in a low-income household or you had a lot of siblings. Your parents couldn't afford to just buy you games. They would buy you, like, a large pizza, a movie and a game, and just let you chill with your friends. Actually, just getting a full game to own was very uncommon for like lower middle class. That's how it was for me. Pretty much only the rich kids that got games frequently. The ones with like really well-off parents. Renting was far more common. Yeah, they would fuck with Japanese games when they brought them here. just to decrease the chance of kids being able to beat it on rentals. There's numerous games like that. But there's always been this misconception that Japanese versions of games were harder. In most cases, they were easier. They made them harder for us because the companies hated the rental market. They thought it was a legitimate threat, which it was. A lot of big childhood games of mine, like in my childhood, I never owned them. I just kept renting them. I didn't own them until I was old enough to be an adult and have my own money. I'm sure a lot of other people are like that too. Like, not everything you play if you're our age was something you actually owned. Actually just renting it over and over whenever your parents would go to the video store was common. Just keep renting, like, the game you actually like. I actually had an interesting hookup. My grandpa had been going to this video store. We didn't go to Blockbuster. We went to a place that was down the street. It's called West Coast Video. And, like, my mom and my aunt had been going there since before I was even born. So when I was born and, you know, I started playing games and stuff very young, every time he would go to the store, they would let me, for a movie, they would let me rent a game for free. So, I definitely did not grow up rich, but it kind of had a little bit of that thing going on. To, like, try out a bunch of games, because he was a movie buff. He really liked to watch movies, especially while he was doing his art. It's pretty much the, that era's version of people who have, like, a stream on their second monitor. That was what he did while he was alive, so I had that kind of hookup. I didn't really make much use of it, though. I mostly just rented the good games over and over. I kept renting Mega Man X like a billion times. I did not own that game until I was like 19, when I was like an adult. I was like an adult and I had a job and my own money. I went ahead and bought it, but I did not own that game. It's a very important game to, like, my taste in games and stuff, but I did not own it. I just never got around to asking for it. There was other stuff that I wanted. Yeah, they really fucked with a lot of those games. A lot of people don't realize that. That's why there's, like, ROM hacks now of, like, a lot of retro games where they undo all the stuff that they did when they brought it over here. Because, like, rentals weren't really a thing in Japan, from what I understand. That was something that was exclusive to the rest of the world. So they felt intimidated by that, so they would fuck with the games. Working Designs was like that. Working Designs, it's like secretly a bad localization company, because they would make the games, like, way harder. Like, the developers didn't intend for those games to be that hard, but they did it because they thought that they were making it better. However, I don't think they did that for the rental market. I think they just did that because they thought that they were legit making the games better, but there's, like, entire websites about how to unpatch all that stuff. Because you're, like, not really playing it the way that the guys in Japan who actually made it wanted you to. They're playing a bastardized, like, way harder, way worse version. Yeah, Streets of Rage 3 is a very common one. I really do think that they did that for the rental market. I mean, you saw me just beat the game in like an hour. I think they really did that for the rental market because it was common to rent beat 'em ups and just play them with your friends from school and then just return it on Monday. It was very common to do that. I don't know if it ever was like revealed like why they fucked with that game so much, but I'm pretty sure that's why. Even back then, they were trying to fuck with short games. It's not really a new thing. It's just people aren't really aware that. Well, they kind of stopped doing that once the 32-bit consoles came out. It was far less common. It was far less common to do that because by that point, renting games was like less and less prevalent. But through like the 8 and 16-bit era, it was very common to do that. Like design, well, the Japanese games that they would bring over, they would fuck with to make it harder against the developers' intentions. But then like the games that were actually made in Europe or America, they would put like really obvious difficulty spikes that were like impossible for a kid to get past, just so that maybe they would ask their parents to buy it for them instead of renting it. I definitely had my fair share of games that were impossible to beat, and I kind of wish I could go back and like just rent them instead. I had Bart's Nightmare, that Simpsons game. That game is fucking impossible. It's really shit too. I remember spending like several summers trying to beat that game. I never could. I had a couple other games like that too. Like they obviously designed that game like we don't want kids to beat this in a rental. We want them to keep asking for it because it's got Bart Simpson on the cover and make money off that. We didn't want the kids to actually finish it. Total Recall is another one. I had Total Recall, and that game was like impossible. Alright, let's see. I think I can do like maybe one more game tonight, and then I probably want to rest up. If my neighbors pay me enough, I might be getting new shoes today, so I have like one like adulting thing to do today. I don't know if I will though. I'm really low on cash. I might have to hold off until maybe some donations come in. We'll see. Yeah, I had Bart's Nightmare. That game is awful. That's the thing about the Western-made games back then is they were very scared of the rental market, so they would since the games weren't from Japan, they were actually made here. They would put like obvious difficulty spikes in there. If you go back and play them, it's like, all right, they want you to they want you to play to that point, but you're not finishing that game before you're 18. You're not finishing that game. You're gonna waste like a huge chunk of the best years of your life trying to beat that game because they intentionally designed it like that. I definitely spent more time than I'd like to admit trying to beat that fucking Bart's Nightmare game. Eventually, I just gave up. Maximum Carnage was another one too. That game had very obvious difficulty spikes, so that you wouldn't finish it. Spider-Man was really popular at the time. They fully capitalized on that. That game was balls hard. I spent so much time trying to beat that. That was a game I actually owned. My mom bought that for me at some point. I get really bothered when people say that Battletoads is a beat 'em up. I hate when people say that because it's not. It's not a beat 'em up. It has like it's like 10% beat 'em up and 90. Other 90% is like Kaizo platforming and like mini games and stuff, which isn't a bad thing. But I hate when people call it a beat 'em up because it's not. It just has like very light combat. That's not even the challenging part of the game. It's all the other stuff they throw at you. I'm trying to figure out what I want to play. I might just actually stop. Actually, I don't feel like being pissed off tonight, so that kind of lowers the amount of games I can play. I'm in a pretty good mood right now, despite the financial situation. I'm pretty chill tonight. I'm not wanting to I'm not wanting to mull over anything tonight. Just want to just play chill stuff. Yeah, it's pretty obvious they made those games to combat the rental market too. It's very obvious they wanted to take advantage of that. Let's see. What's something chill I can play that's not gonna make me pissed off? Because I don't feel like being frustrated tonight. It's been a very chill, relaxing stream. No anger. Yeah, the only one that even remotely passes for a beat 'em up is the arcade one. The arcade one is way more of a beat 'em up than the other ones. It still has like gimmick levels and stuff, but it's mostly combat. There's way more combat than all the other ones combined. Whenever somebody says those games are beat 'em ups, I just think that their opinion is not valid. Like, have you played those games? Like, there's very minimal combat. It's pretty much like a non-violent action game, really, when you think about it. There's very minimal violence or even fighting anything. It's mostly they're like minor obstacles, but like not really the primary focus. It's mostly the crazy platforming challenges, which are satisfying to pull off, but I feel like if you play those games just wanting to beat 'em up, you're going to be really disappointed because there's very little of that. Actually, got some demos here to try. Let's try some of these demos. This game's supposed to be coming out in a few weeks. Let's try this. I haven't tried this game yet. The Game Boy. The Game Boy is like the only retro console I feel that's aged like dirt. I thought that those games were pretty dinky when I was a kid. I never was really jealous of kids that had a Game Boy. I was jealous of kids that had a Game Gear. The Game Gear was really ahead of its time. The games were far more playable. They were in color. I never was really jealous of kids in my school that had, like, Game Boy games. I always felt like they were pretty dinky. No jealousy from me having those as a kid. Oh yeah, that's why the Game Boy was so shitty for so long, because battery tech was not there yet. I'm sure they wanted to go color earlier, but battery life was a problem. I mean, it still is, really. The Steam Deck is kind of like Game Gear 2 in a way, because yes, it's way better than the Switch, but if you don't have a power bank for that thing, and you're only interested in playing AAA games, you'll be lucky to get maybe 2 hours out of it, 2-3 hours tops. If you play something like this game I'm trying out right now, you can get like probably 5 or 6 hours. But like the stuff that they advertise, it really can't run those games for long. A lot of people don't realize that. But it depends on what you're trying to play on it, of course. You just want to play like smaller stuff like this, it's completely fine. It'll probably last most of your working day. But if you want to play like, you know, the Harry Potter game or Cyberpunk on it or something, like, you can't expect it to last long. You kind of have to have some kind of charger for it. Bring your charger or a power bank with you to work or school or whatever. I'd say it's better than the Game Gear, but it has a lot of the same problems. The battery life is not very good. See if there's some more Kingdom Hearts 3 mods. We'll look into that, and then maybe I'll play that for a little bit. See what they got here. How's the emulation on it? It can do PS3, which is pretty impressive. Battery life is going to be dreadful, but you can do that. You can do Switch emulation. I haven't bothered with that yet because I'd rather just play Switch games on my computer. Everything prior to that works perfectly. So, but yeah, it can do PS3 games. I have Xelia 2 and Basara on my Steam Deck, and they work about as well as they do on computer. A little bit worse, obviously, but more than playable. PS2 and below will be fine. It'll run perfectly. Although for me, I don't do retro emulation on my Steam Deck. I only do PS3. That's the only emulation I do on the deck because my phone can handle the rest. Like I have a 512 micro SD card in my phone for the kitty sitting streams, so I don't really need the same thing on the deck. Yeah, I feel like if you have a decent phone and you want to just play like PS2 and below, like it's more effort than it's worth to put it on the Steam Deck. But for like PS3 and Switch and stuff, then yeah, it's worth it. What the hell? You can switch between the keyblades like DMC? What? Since when have you been able to do that? I'm not really a big Kingdom Hearts fan. I like watching the speedruns, but I'm not very good at it myself. How is he like switching through the different move sets like DMC? That's pretty nuts. I didn't know you could do that. It's news to me. Really. Huh, what is that called? I'll grab that right now. I already have the Valor Form mod. I'll look into it later. I'm kind of winding down for tonight anyway. There's nothing really new to play right now. There's Wo Long, but I don't like that game that much, and it runs pretty poorly. Oh yeah, I already have this. I already have Restyle, so yeah, I already got this mod. Alright, I guess we'll try some of this out. And then I'm probably gonna hop off. Getting a lot of ads for that Street Fighter Duel game. It looks so dumb. It's another one of those auto battlers, just with the Street Fighter name on it. It looks really dumb. I don't understand the appeal of the microtransaction auto battlers, because there's like ones that you can just buy with a flat rate on PC. I don't get the appeal of paying a bunch of money for the game to play itself. Idle games can be fun, but I feel like with them wanting you to spend like hundreds of dollars for the game to just play itself faster is really weird to me. That game seems to be making a ton of money, though. I guess they're doing something right. I don't really understand the appeal.
Yeah. Ready? Here goes. Yeah. 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 Hey. Yeah. Back at you. Ready? Here goes! Oh. Ready? Here goes! Oh. Ah! Ah!
No, I glitched it out. I glitched it out.
Back off!
Totally playing as intended here. I only beat this game once. Kinda wanted to try it again. I like the combat in this better than 2, but I didn't really play 2 that much. I never actually even owned that game. I played it at a friend's house. The game came out like senior year of high school for me. I never played the Final Mix version, which I hear is way better. I have a pretty generic Kingdom Hearts trajectory. I just played 1, 2, and 3. I tried the Birth by Sleep game, and I thought the combat was awful. I could not stand it. Like, dude, this combat is bad. The melee combat just felt so awful, it was so slow. I don't know what they were trying to do with that, but I was not a fan. I got like an hour into that game, and then I got rid of it.
Try this! Yeah!
Seems like a lot of people don't like that game, though. I hear it's known for having really bad balancing. Like the post-game boss is like barely beat him. He's like invincible all the time or something. I've seen videos, and I'm not really knowledgeable on this stuff.
Ready? Here goes! Oh. Ah! Ready? Here goes! Thank you. Yeah. 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 Here we go. Yeah. 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 Back off. Take this. That was great. Nice one, Sora. Come on. Yeah, you got him.
Oops. See, I don't get pissed at this game because I know I'm bad at it. I only get pissed off at games when I know I can do better, but I'm not very good at Kingdom Hearts. I never was. I have no expectations for myself. This kind of game, I was doing decent at it, but like not super hardcore like a lot of the other stuff I play. Plus, I played this like right when the port came out. I didn't really touch any of the mods.
Nice one, Sora. Right this. Stream. Yeah. So long. That was close. Yeah, you got him. Yeah. 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 Doing great, Sora.
These mods are pretty cool. So I have this mod that basically gives you like Dynasty Warriors charge attacks. I'll show them off really quick. Like this is your C2. You got a C3. C4 is like that big tornado thing. It's like the counter slash. Stinger. Basically just a stinger. And then you have that. Whatever that's called.
Don't get him! Oh! Yeah! 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 Yeah!
try this with all the mods on. Gotta get used to it. Oops. Oops.
No way.
Big boy. What's up, man? I'm very bad at this game. It's why I'm not getting pissed off like I normally do. I have no expectations for myself. I'm playing on critical mode. I'm like nowhere near ready for it. I'm just messing around with the mods. How is it running for you? Are you playing on console or PC? That game is kind of boring. It's like it's alright, but it just feels so much worse than Nioh 2 in like every way. I was gonna play that tonight, but I don't feel like being pissed off. I'm just trying to chill tonight. Oh, that probably explains why you're enjoying it. You're not playing on PC. That says it all right there. Glad you're liking it, though. I think it's like average. I'd rank it in their second worst Team Ninja action RPG on the tier list. Nowhere near as high tier as the other ones. We'll probably get better with DLC.
It can't be.
Hey, he didn't block. Must have been recovering. So they see, I don't get pissed. People think I get pissed at every game. I get pissed if I know I can do better. When I'm just playing something like this casually, and I like don't know what I'm doing, I don't get pissed off. I'm not getting pissed off right now. I haven't really played that many Kingdom Hearts games, to be honest. Just 1, 2, and 3. I tried Birth by Sleep, but that game was butt cheeks. I got like 2 hours into that, and I got rid of it. The combat sucked. I liked 2. Yeah, I'm just checking out the mods. I'm just chilling. It's weird. I'm like trying to guard, but maybe I have to do it faster. I don't like using the attractions. I hate those things. I should turn them off. I think those things are whack. Well, this game is on Unreal Engine 4, so it's very easy to mod. Although there were a lot of mods for Kingdom Hearts 2, even before it came to PC. Like the randomizer was originally on emulator, so what they would do is they would get the English patch for a final mix, and then they would mod the randomizer in. There were a lot of mods actually. It's just there was less of them because it's harder to work with the PS2 game than it is to work with the PC. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts has a very passionate community. I'm not like really a huge fan of these games, but they put a lot of work into them. Yeah, this game has a lot of mods. I'm kind of exploring it now. Yeah, I only played for 20 hours. I didn't play this that much. That's my end game save file right there. 20 hours it says. I guess I'll try to load up Wo Shlong a little bit because I got a cheat table for it. See if I can cheat my file back, because the game runs too poorly for me to be mauling over it right now. Where's Wo Shlong? Where is it? See if I can get this cheat table working, and then I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I'm actually getting pretty hungry. Probably down a banana and some popcorn or something so I don't go to bed hungry. I get crazy stuttering on this game. I have to put the priority to like real time, and it like fixes it because this is such an amazing port. They put a lot of got their most talented, hardworking, trained goldfish to work on this port. Alright. What do we got here? Yeah, I'm just gonna cheat back to where I was, because I had to, I bought the game off Game Pass. Well, I tried it on Game Pass, and then I bought it, because I knew that the cheats wouldn't work. Let's see here. Look at how long this animation takes. Like 3 seconds, and he can't fucking cancel out of it. Like, what is the point of this move? To get you killed? Like, I don't understand the purpose of it. What the fuck were they thinking? Let's just make your character not respond to button presses for, like, 3 whole seconds. Incredible balancing. Well, there was actually ways to cancel out of stuff in Nioh 2, that's the difference. That game has a lot of committal moves too. The difference is that in that game, they put in ways to cancel that the game doesn't tell you, but they're specifically there to prevent the problem that this game has, where you just have stuff that takes too long to come out. Everybody's complaining about the R1s, how useless they are. I'm like, yeah, they are useless. Sure was cool doing this cool looking animation, but then the boss is in hyper armor and walks through it. They walk through it, and they do a red attack, and all you can do is sit there and watch yourself die. Great. Incredible design. Actually, I should... I don't care. Let's just keep going. Just want to get back to where I was. Speed run. This game runs like garbage. I might just like not even bother playing this anymore. I'll wait until they fix it, or there's mods for it or something. Running's running so poorly. Fucking $2,000 computer, by the way, can't run this PS3 ass-looking game. It's too hard for it. Unacceptable. I don't have the patience for this game right now. I shouldn't have played this tonight. I should have played more Kingdom Hearts. Just not getting pissed off at that. That port runs beautifully. I went from, like, best PC port to worst in the span of, like, 5 minutes. Straight downgrade. Actually, this game is a lot better with the morale maxed out. The morale system in this game is so stupid. You need to grind to get your magic, but then you can only use it at the end of the level. What fucking sense does that make? Why is it limited by the morale? It's like, you go through so much grinding to get it, and then you can use it in, like, the last 5 minutes of the level. Like, alright, that makes absolutely no sense. It feels like your stats barely matter in this game. It's mostly just the morale. But the morale is kind of dumb because it discourages going fast, because if you don't want to, like, explore everything meticulously, you get punished for it. Because you do, like, less damage and everything, like, one-shots you. Pretty whack, man. Anyway, I'm done with this for tonight. We'll cheat back. I think I got, like, maybe... I did a couple extra missions before this, so I'll I'll cheat back to that point, and then I'll turn the cheats off. Yeah, I'm actually getting pretty hungry. I should probably eat something. I need to eat something with my meds anyway. So that's gonna do it for now. Thanks for watching. It's the skillful gameplay y'all come here for. I boot up Cheat Engine and just turn invincible. That's the high-level gameplay you all crave so much from me. But, that game is not worth playing through without the codes, at least until I get back to where I was. It runs too poorly. I heard there's a spot later on where the performance gets, like, even worse. So, I don't know how much patience I have for that at the moment. But yeah, I'm gonna need to be streaming more often, because I'm trying to raise funds. I'm really low on cash. This trip has been pretty expensive, and I've had to help my neighbor out a lot, so I'm gonna try to do, like, maybe 2 streams a day. If I can raise, like, a little bit of money, I can probably just grab some groceries and just... I won't be able to do much on the trip, but, yeah, I really do need that help. So I will try to stream again, probably after I get something to eat for lunch. I'll probably come back on, and I might play more Kingdom Hearts, honestly, because that game fucking works. Wo Long frustrates me because of the gameplay, and the port is garbage, so... I had a very good, low-stress stream tonight. I don't know how much I really want to play that game right now. I'm hoping the first, like, patch that they do for it will fix a lot of the problems, but it's very hard to tell at this point. So, yeah. I'll see you guys later. Good night.